Well, officially welcome to today's workshop. This is conference week. Reminder picture, like in Facebook, a memory from last year, had a picture of me with the United Way of Shanghai, helping them with their website. It was literally a year ago. So this is typically United Way Conference Week, but they didn't have it this year. They decided to go every other, so we decided to do our own thing. Today's topic, we're going to talk about our vendors in OneEach, and just making sure you're aware of some of the relationships that we do have out there and answer any questions you have about vendors you work with and the work of OneEach Technologies. On today's presentation is myself. I'm Allison James. I am joined by Miss Emily Bowen. Say hello, Emily.
Hello, everybody.
You stop saying hello, Emily. I've set that up too many times. You're kind of tired of it, huh?
No, I don't want them to get too tired of it.
Yeah, right. So here's our plan today. We're going to talk about payment processors. So I do want to check in with you what you're doing payment processor-wise and what questions you have there, because it's definitely an important vendor relationship. Probably, if not one of the most important vendor relationships that goes with your website is your way you're taking your donations. Talk about Get Connected and the volunteer management software, the platform that we are actually integrating with. Let you know about that, check in with you on that topic. Newsletters, Constant Contact, MailChimp, all of that. I've got a couple things to show you along those lines. And then I'm going to talk about Google Analytics. Your sites are embedded with Google Analytics code, so I will pull up a Google Analytics report and show you a little bit on that. And we'll talk about how you can best manage all this in 30 minutes or less. So ask questions, fire away, and here we go. Let me ask you a poll. I know there's not a huge group on this just yet, but I still want to know what you're using for your payment processor. So take a look at your screen right now, if you would, please. This is when I see if you're paying attention. There's not, oh, all of you voted. That is so awesome. So let's go ahead and share that. And everyone had a different answer.
Which is even cooler.
Yeah. So someone's using Stripe. Someone's using PayPal, and someone's going and leaving us. Okay. There's usually a logical reason why you're doing that. I'd be happy to talk you through that at some point to see if there's any logical reason maybe not to do that. And here, I'm going to tell you about Stripe. So my one person out here who's using PayPal, which I don't know which one of you it is, challenge that's been, and really with payment processors, even Stripe, we've only been working with Stripe a year and a half. It's like, I always equate it to like your phone company vendor and your bill. Like if you don't check in every once in a while, you might not realize that things have gotten better and there's a better deal and there's a cheaper rate and there's this. So right now, the deal in the online processing world is Stripe. And Stripe comes with a lot of cool capabilities to it. Because not only does it take your credit and debit card, it does an ACH or an e-check transfer, and it'll do Apple Pay, which is, I got the Apple Pay symbol up here. This is going to be such a growing area for you. And for nonprofits in general, we're going to see more texting and giving through their phones and using Apple Pay with that one-click kind of give. Now, my PayPal person, the one thing that I'd say that just takes this one and makes it just a better user experience than PayPal is PayPal people leave your website and go to PayPal. And honestly, anytime someone leaves your website to go somewhere else to give money, the completion rate statistically drops because they've left this environment that they were committed to, and now you've taken them somewhere else. And PayPal always gives off the impression you have to have a PayPal account. Well, you don't, but it does let people think that, so they bail. And just leaving your site in general, people don't necessarily have that same sense of commitment to their processing. The other thing is it's actually cheaper than PayPal. There's no setup fee, there's no monthly fee, and the credit card rates and stuff are listed there. So, we encourage you to think about this. This is a relationship that we're growing with Stripe. You can set them up to drop into your bank account daily, weekly, monthly. Actually, Emily, you're the Stripe expert. If there's anything in particular about Stripe that you would like to make sure everyone's kind of educated and aware of if they're thinking about maybe looking at their processor.
Yeah, as Allison said, it gives you 3 different types of what we call gateways, or different types of processing payments. You get that credit debit card, the e-check or bank transfer option, and the Apple Pay. That doesn't mean you actually have to use all of those payment types, but you can put them all on the same page. So if you have a contribution page out there, they would have the ability to kind of pick and choose, like, okay, I want to pay with my bank account, or maybe I want to pay with my credit card. So it gives you a little bit more flexibility. Additionally, all of those transactions, all of that information is funneled to your Stripe dashboard, which is very easy to use. And then you also have the ability to export reports of that in those transactions, or the payment information, to like accounting software and that kind of thing. So that way, if you have, somebody who does, your bookkeeping or your billing, you can have them have a separate user account to your Stripe dashboard. So that way, maybe they have the ability to go in and pull a report and, export it out, but maybe they don't have the ability to refund or change payment information. So you can kind of pick and choose roles. So that way you don't have to be the only person who has access to your payment processor or your Stripe dashboard. And as Allison said, it is technically cheaper than PayPal. You're never redirected off of the page, so everything is processed right there. And the transaction fees are actually pretty low, and you do have the ability to do recurring payments as well.
I was trying to highlight those, but I can't. Yeah, they are very low. They're definitely in the recurring school too. Sorry, I stepped on you, Emily.
No,
Jed had just asked about the annual cost, right?
Zero annual cost for Stripe. There's no setup fees, there's no monthly fee, there's no annual fee. It is just your transaction fee. That is the only the only fee that's going to be associated with your Stripe account.
Right. And I've heard that PayPal is either 2.7 or 2.9%. I actually think Stripe is quite possibly cheaper than PayPal, and they're also 30 cents the credit card transaction. So, but the user experience is better because you don't leave the site. So, and anyone, if you know of anyone who uses authorized.net, theirs is a lot more expensive, and you have both a gateway and a processor. So anyway, Stripe is, we've done the research. We don't get any cut on your transactions. Honestly, it doesn't matter to us which processor you use. We want you to be successful in the work you're doing. We've done the research. We know that this is a good one. We've forged a relationship with them. We've forged a relationship with Apple in getting this stuff built. We were one of the first companies out there to offer the Apple Pay option to nonprofits. If not, definitely one of the very first. And still, you won't find it a lot of places. So we've got it totally invested in it. We're expecting Android Pay soon, and we know that will continue to grow. And that's why we say Stripe, because they're staying up with the times and they got the current stuff. All right, let's go on to our next thing here. Okay, so I've got a few more of you. Welcome, everyone, to the webinar. I'm going to put another poll question up, and I usually kind of know what the answer is going to be mostly for you guys. This is my last poll question. Look at your screen. What e-newsletter tool do you use? Do you like Constant Contact, MailChimp, Blue State Digital, or another system? And let's see here. Take a look at your screen. Click real quick. We've almost got all of you guys voted. Someone hasn't voted yet. They're like, oh, it's me. Let me look at my screen. There you go. Ah, perfect. And that is what I was expecting. 100% of you said Constant Contact. So that's because it's free for United Way, which is cool. So good. I definitely, and we'll just spend a quick moment on this when we go look at sites. I just want to make sure everyone is got that newsletter sign-up portal built into your website that leads people, and it automatically dumps into Constant Contact for you. Jenny prefers MailChimp. I hear you, Jenny. We use MailChimp actually at OneEach because we don't get Constant Contact for free. But so yeah, they're similar. But ultimately, what we want to make sure as your website vendor is that you've got the two connected. So we'll show you some samples on that in just a second. Am I still showing that? I am, huh?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, let's go look at some stuff. Those are my technical words. I do like that. Let's look at stuff. Now if I can close my screen and get my other one to come up. You think I'd be good at this by now. All righty. I am showing my screen correct. So this is a donation page. I actually just kind of grabbed a random one. It's United Way of the Quad Cities. They are on our newsletter theme 3. And just showing you what this potentially could look like on your donation page, because they do have Stripe. And they've got all of them as options on a contribution page, which you can, but you can actually choose and select. So they have the debit and credit card. You could do the ACH and bank transfer. I want to make a comment about this because actually recently I learned more about it and had some discussions with our owner about how this works. You know, you've heard of people setting up e-checks to give money, and they put in their routing number, and then they put in their bank number and all their codes, and that happens. Well, apparently that has been deemed to be not the most secure method of doing e-checks, because really anyone can enter your routing number and your bank number and start taking money from your account and having it go somewhere. So the method that Stripe sets up actually has people log into their bank account, and you are actually logging into your bank account through a portal. It's nothing that's captured by your system, your website, by Stripe or anything like that. It's a matter of educating the people that they're going to log into their own bank and set up their own contribution, and they can set it to recurring. So that ACH piece is really pretty cool. Apple Pay, of course, is neat, and then they have a Bill Me option on there. So, just thinking about it. Don't forget that with your donation pages, you can customize it with whatever questions you want. Then another sample out here that I have is the Apple Pay option. Now, keep in mind that Apple Pay already has someone's credit card information in it. It has your name, it has your address, it has your credit card. All you're doing is putting your thumbprint on. You don't have to punch all that information in. The only thing you have to do is tell the amount. Now, our system requires an email also, because our Civvy CRM system, that's the identifier for each person is an email address. So you'll have the 2 fields, but that's it. And this is like from your phone and from a mobile device, super quick and simple. And having that quick Apple Pay donation will make it really fast. So just thought I'd share those samples with you. Also, I'd like to mention, and I didn't ask you guys about the volunteer platform. I do want to mention that we are working with Get Connected, which is Galaxy Digital. And if we have, you can just put a message or a question in the question box. If I have any Galaxy Digital customers out there, or Get Connected customers out there, it'd be great to know that. I wanted to share this with you. This is our app. We've done some app development. United Way of Greenville County is at South Carolina. They have our app, and we have integrated their Get Connected into their app. We're working on getting them integrated more seamlessly into the website platform as well. So we actually have forged a relationship with Get Connected. We're working together to make this a seamless role for because we have a lot of customers who alike that they have, and we both have, that are United Ways. So just, FYI to you as a website customer of OneEach, if you're looking for a volunteer platform, this has been a very popular one with United Ways. It's actually how the conversation kind of started, because we have so many customers in common. People searching for volunteer opportunities and signing up for volunteer opportunities. We can build it into an app. We're working on integrating it with our website platform as well. Who said they do? Nikki, you guys are using Get Connected? Okay. Emily, note that. We're going to make sure we keep track of that so that we have it in our system, and as that comes further along, we'll be reaching out to those. We're trying to find out who all our Get Connected customers are, to tell you the truth. So we're in process on that. All right. Let's see here. I did pull this up just in case anybody didn't know this, but I think you all do know. This is the screen from Constant Contact. I run across customers every once in a while who have no idea that United Way has a relationship with Constant Contact, so I send them this to sign up for it. So if there's something you need to know about, check in. I have that link. But ultimately, that's a pretty cool thing, I think. It's a nice partnership. They have a bunch of templates done for you, et cetera. I want to show you what some of our customers have done who use Constant Contact. So this is United Ways of Texas. It's a state United Way, and they're using our theme 6. So in our Theme 6, we actually have a box down on the bottom for newsletter signups, and they've got it fully integrated. I want you to know that this is something we can do. So if you're using Constant Contact, like right now on most of the sites where we have like sign up for the newsletter, it's just the email field. Well, if you were like, I want it to be more than the email field, I want it to be some other fields. So they're a state United Way, so they're asking which United Way you're associated with. But you'd probably be like name, and email, maybe phone number. They submit, and then it syncs right into Constant Contact. I will also throw out to you just a little thought as you do use your site, keeping a look at your Contact Us forms and any of your forms on your site or your City CRM and pulling those and merging those contacts into your, now that's a manual move, but merging those contacts into your Constant Contact as well. Here's another sample. This is also a theme. Is this a theme 6? Yeah, I think so. Slightly modified theme 6. They added a picture in here. You know, so just know that this particular space on your site, if you have theme 6, also theme 7 has the long box with the newsletter sign up. I've seen some people customize in there with some fields that we can adjust this. Emily, you want to say anything on this? I know you worked with these guys on setting these up.
Yeah, that title where it says get involved and the content that's underneath that, again, as Allison said, that can be customized, and technically you guys actually have access to those areas. So if you do have a similar theme, or you really like the look of this, and you want to potentially add it to your site via custom programming, we can always work with you. But if you do have this theme, you can make those changes, and then as Allison also mentioned, you do have the ability to capture a little bit more information. And some I know that a couple of sites, they actually capture more than just like first name, last name, email address. They potentially let them pick and choose from different newsletter lists within their Constant Contact.
Right.
And that might just be too
Women's
much.
United leaders.
Yeah, and that might be too much for that space on the homepage. So what they do is they will put that form within just a regular basic page, and they'll put a link out on the homepage. So that way somebody can, you know, complete a larger form or a more detailed form. So that way they can really target, you know, their newsletters.
Yep, there you go. All right, and that brings me to kind of one of the last vendor relationships that I wanted to discuss and share with you guys before we start to wrap it up, which is Google Analytics. So, big question out to the group right now. Hopefully all of you are aware that there's a Google Analytics code embedded on your site and that you are actively accessing your analytic data. This is the opportunity to type in that box to say, I have no idea what you're talking about, or I kind of know, or let us know what your Google Analytics experience is, because I'll dig in a little bit, but I'm not going to go too deep just for sake of time. I am currently logged into analytics for Simplify Auction Services. I will share with you that my husband's an auctioneer, and that is our auction business, and we have a OneEach website. And we had an auction this weekend. So this past week had a lot of activity. And when I log into it, this is the landing page when I logged into my analytics site. So hopefully you all know how to log into it. This is important stuff. This is your traffic and your statistics and your data on your site. So you are going to be able to log in and see how many users and how many visitors you're having and set up reports to send to you. And that is my favorite thing, is that the report system in here is pretty cool. So usually what you're looking for is just some basic audience data. It's pretty standard. So your home screen comes with some really good standard data. So here's your general audience overview. You can adjust it and look at it and set it up to report to you and send you notices. And so you see high usage going into the weekend, and then it's dropped off because they're over. Which you would expect to have happen, but some of the things you're looking for is like, are they new customers? Are they returning customers? What are the top pages that they're visiting? You might be interested in if they're on a mobile device or not, or what kind of tools they're using, so you can look at different browsers. I can change the parameters of the dates and times of this. If I go back earlier, I'm going to see different numbers. I can export it. I can share it. As you find reports that you think are interesting, know that you can set these reports up to email to yourself. You can export them. So under share, I can set it to email to me. So you would click share and I'd go, okay, email to me. And I want it as a PDF and I want it to come weekly, daily, monthly. I can add it to an existing email. I can have it active for a certain amount of time and then the reporting will stop. They'll only let you do reporting for 12 months and then you got to change it up. So I actually have an existing email out there that goes weekly. So I could add it to that email. So I can pull like our email that comes every Friday, and ours, I mean, my husband and I get the same email every Friday because I have it set up. It has like 3 or 4 different reports. It has your general audience overview report, and then it'll also have things like behavior. I'm always interested in new versus returning. Actually, let's go to the homepage. The general homepage reports are good. That's why they're on the homepage, because they're the most sought after, most interesting reports. Your frequency, your highest visit time. Sometimes those correlate to if you're doing newsletter blasts. Maybe you want to see how effective your newsletter blasts are being and whether or not they're successfully driving people to your website at that time. Your traffic. You also have ways of seeing if they're coming from social media. So this is one, page visits. So the 2 auctions we had the Highland auction and Dan Smith's auction. Those were, Highland was Saturday, Dan Smith was Sunday. Saturdays are always bigger than Sundays. So the numbers actually really correlate to what was going on for this business at that time and how many views there were and et cetera. So again, the page views, what they're hitting, that's always interesting. Also often interesting is acquisition, which is how did they find you? Did they get referred to you by another site? And then the social media reports as well. Let's see. So I have 1 active visitor on the site. I wonder if one of you guys went and clicked on it. Trending over time, devices, here you go. Mobile overviews, so you can see what kind of devices they're utilizing, desktop versus mobile versus tablet. These numbers have changed so much, so dramatically in the past years. This is where we're at. Desktop is still kind of king because I live on a farm in Kansas in the middle of nowhere. But mobile is growing, so. Anyway, so this is some stuff that I just want to make sure you guys know that this is out here and that this data is automatically happening on your site and you should be looking for it. You should be checking it out and seeing how people are finding you, how long they're engaged on your site, what they're interested in, etc. Okay? Any questions on the analytics? No questions popping in.
Not yet.
So, Emily, is your webinar coming up here now or in another hour?
It's coming up in another hour.
That is very good because I just got a warning on it. So, good to know. All right. Well, let's go back to the PowerPoint then. Hopefully this has been some interesting information. If you guys aren't sure what your Google Analytics code is, you're not sure if it's set up, please reach out to us. You can message in on that, the question thing, and just ask. Emily can check to see if you have an active analytics code on your site. Okay, let's close out with some tips today. Evaluate your payment processor. Pay attention to that. And also, you should definitely give to yourself like at least once a quarter or so. Just make sure there's no hangups or glitches. And I would actually tell everyone that right about now you should be checking it out too, because we have recently been going through a server move that has adjusted a few things, and it'd be a good time to just go give yourself $5 on your website. Make sure your experience is good and that it all works. And if it doesn't, let us know. You need a volunteer tool, consider Get Connected. If you're a Get Connected customer, make sure we know as soon as we get a little bit more interface going on, we will be sure to bring it to your attention. Make sure you're keeping those newsletter lists up to date. So have that interface if you want it more involved. Submit a support ticket. Our support team can help you get that newsletter questions more detailed. And like Emily said, one of the things, and we actually see this a fair amount, is they'll just turn it into a button on the homepage and have it land on a page that has fully embedded, bigger list of questions for your newsletter sign up. If you don't have Google Analytics reports set up, you really should do this. This is a great way of kind of getting at a glance and seeing what's going on and making sure some of the things you're doing is working and makes sense. User support team, if you have any questions, yeah, I skipped a line. I did that on purpose, actually. I unlinked, oh, I thought I unlinked it. I guess I didn't unlink it. Use our support site. If you have any questions about anything at all, or especially like if you need that newsletter reset up, or if you're trying to figure out if you have a Google Analytics code, you can submit a ticket. Our team will help you. And if you need any help with anything, you can always pay us to do stuff. So that's always an option. Clicking, I'm not going anywhere. There we are. So this is my final screen. It's Emily and I doing the presentation today. Additional classes that we have can be found at oneeach.com/classes. Of course, this was our special United Way Conference week. Tomorrow, I will have my screen, and Emily, you got to help me with this. Tomorrow, I am going to have my screen full of all the things that I think every customer should check out, what so-and-so's done, and what so-and-so's done, and what so-and-so's done, and what so-and-so's done. Because, you know, there is no sense in reinventing the wheel. We work with 450 United Ways, and most of the time when someone comes to us and says, hey, I'm thinking about this, we usually have someone who's done something somewhat similar, and we can share those examples with you. So, and if you have any cool examples, or if you're looking for cool examples, let us know, and we will make sure we kind of pull that all together. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of our 30-minute presentation. Questions, comments, thoughts? Are we happy?
I hope so. And always feel free to let us know if you currently work with like a different partner. So like, you know, instead of using, you know, Constant Contact, if you use a different newsletter provider, you still might be able to like embed your form on your site. So again, if you are currently working with a different partner program, always feel free to reach out because we might be able to still help you out.
This is true. Okay. Well, thank you all very much. Have a great day. I'm sure I might catch some of you tomorrow. And we are going to send these recordings out, I promise. All right. Have a good day, everyone. Take care. Oh, wait. Hold on. Did you see Kelly's?
Yeah.
We're checking, Kelly. Hold on. See, Emily has the ability to check and see your Google Analytics code. I don't have that skill set. I'm just a measly little worker bee. No, I have the same level of permissions as you. I have the same level of permissions as you guys do, just so I can experience what you experience. Emily gets the super permissions because she's super. Did you find the code?
Something. I am, yes, and your code.
She's messaging you back the code that is in the system. So what that means is there is a Google account somewhere that has that code in it, and you can pull reports from. Now your question is, what's the login to that Google account? Because we don't have it. So you have to go to google.com and log in. Often it's a Gmail account. Usually it is a generic Gmail account for your United Way. Sometimes an individual will have used their individual one. It depends on who set it up back in the day. And once you log in there, you should be able to find the page with that code that has that report in it. I say should be able to. Did you send her the code?
I did indeed.
Okay. If you are unable to figure out how to find that Google account, then we would recommend that you start over. Get a new Google account and draw a line in the sand and start collecting data. If you're not looking at data anyway, then you don't know what your data is. But there is data out there. We know that there's data that's been collected for you and there's data that exists. So ideally, it'd be nice to find it. If you can't find it, start over. Okay, good luck, you guys. All right. Thank you very much. Have
Thanks,
a good day.
everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.